Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Marae Yaksha, and I get to serve at Calvary Chapel University. And one of my favorite things to get to do is I get to interview various alumni. And so each month I just ask the Lord who He wants me to interview. And I get to just highlight where they are serving the Lord and just get to ask them questions about how their experience was at CCU. So this month, I get to interview our August alums. I said that with a plural, alums of the month. So today I am joined by Isabella and Victoria Harding. Yay! Congratulations, girls. You are both alum of the month for August. This is a first ever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, full disclosure, I have known Victoria and Isabella for a really, really long time, and I'm just like trying to remember. So when we are their parents have been at the same church that I've been at for years, and your parents were missionaries in Ukraine. And so first, what I want you to do before I get ahead of myself is I want you just to share, first of all, where you are.
Okay. So we're in,
Go
we're in Porto, Portugal, over in Europe by Spain, and we've been here for, well, almost 13 years.
I know. I was trying to remember how old you girls were when you first moved over there. How old were you both?
I had just turned 8, and Isabella had turned 9.
Wow. And when we first started going to Calvary Chapel Living Word, our daughter was 4. And so you would have been even younger than that. So,
Yeah.
And like you girls played together when you were really little. So we go way back. So,
Yeah.
so this is really fun to get to share missionary testimonies. It's one of my favorite things. So can you just share like a quick 1-minute testimony just so people can get to know you? I don't know if you want to both do it or take turns, however you want to do it.
Go ahead. Yeah, so we were both born and raised in a Christian family. Our parents were missionaries. They've been missionaries even since before we were born. And yeah, we're both born, raised in a Christian family, and yeah, we've been sorry, been we're a missionary family. Like we've been on the mission field together.
We've been Christians since a very young age, around 4 or 5. And so that kind of life, it's the only life we've ever known, and we're very thankful for that. And our testimony is still growing and changing as our relationship with Jesus continues. So
That's so awesome. So you're both PK girls because your dad is a pastor. And so I got to make sure I don't get ahead of myself. So your parents were called to the mission field and you've been there almost 13 years and you're fluent in Portuguese, right?
yes, yeah, we became fluent by getting involved in the community through sports because we're homeschooled. So we weren't going to Portuguese school, and we also by watching Portuguese cartoons. It was
awesome.
actually our homework.
There you go. I love that. So we visited, my husband and I and daughter visited you, and that was back in 2018. I can't believe it's been that long. And so you both took classes at CCBC, right?
Yes, we were there for about 2 years before we went to CCU.
Okay. And then how did you hear about CCU?
Our dad already knew about it, and I believe our mom knew through her friendship with you.
Yeah, with a little bird.
Yes.
So yeah, back in 2018, I was finishing up my bachelor's degree, and so the Lord was just blessing me so much at CCU. It just was such a joy and amazing, just opportunity. So the online format of doing school online. How has that been for you?
Oh, it's been really helpful, especially because as we help out with our church, and so sometimes like during the week we'll have to go and help out with some part of our ministry. So it's really been really helpful for us to be able to, because the school's online, the lessons and classes are online, we're able to make our own schedule and we're able to fit it like around our also just our day-to-day schedule as well. So it's been like really helpful.
I love the flexibility.
Yes.
And so, I think one of my questions here, um, and I think I know the answer just because having visited Portugal, but are you like morning people or like evening people when it comes to doing your assignments?
Evening people.
I'm actually morning. Have found that I'm more like able to
Awake?
do my classes better, awake, more efficient in the morning
I
and
love
early
that.
afternoon. Yeah, it's like
And like Portuguese culture is such a nighttime thing.
yeah.
I mean, the night is young at 10 o'clock at night, but
Yes.
I just love the flexibility that CCU offers with being able to do school online. Makes it really easy if you're a night person or a morning person.
Yes.
So you both have graduated and correct me if I'm wrong, with your bachelor's degrees in biblical studies. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
You're girls after my own heart. Just love it. And Victoria, you're continuing on with your master's, right?
Yes, so I'm getting my master's in biblical studies with emphasis or specialization in theology.
Maybe we'll be in a class together. Wouldn't that be
I hope,
fun?
yeah, I hope so.
I would love that. We'll have to see if we can ask the Lord to like do that. So one of our core values at CCU is simply Jesus, and which is what I just love at the heart of CCU, because we want to make disciples. We want to see people grow in their relationship with the Lord. And did you find that you both have grown personally just in your relationship with the Lord through your studies?
Yes, so because we have gained greater biblical knowledge through CCU, it has definitely helped in growing our personal relationship with Jesus because my dad has taught us that, when the more you know a person, the better your relationship is with them. And that definitely applies with our relationship with Jesus. And so because I know more about the Bible and learning about Jesus, I can, grow my relationship with Jesus in my own personal life.
Love that. And I'm sure then that spills over as you are, serving at church. And like you said, you guys were really involved in sports, handball ministry. I'm
Yeah.
sure that was an opportunity for you just to shine the love of Jesus with those around you. Have you found that the classes at CCU just are doctrinally sound? I know your dad is like a solid Bible teacher, so it's like we've got to have a good foundation of God's word.
Yes, classes, like I've agreed with everything that's been like taught in the classes. Uh, like they're very biblically sound, like based on the Bible, even if it's not necessarily like a class on like a book of the Bible per se, like if it's like more on like a class on faith or apologetics, it's all been based on the Bible and the truths of the Bible. So yeah, they're definitely very biblically sound classes.
That was one of the things that really drew me to CCU, because at Calvary Chapel we have such a strong foundation in God's word. It's essential. We believe in the inerrancy of God's word. We believe it to cover. And so that was really important to me as well. And so were there times that like whatever you were learning in your class, whether it was like apologetics or I don't know if you took like that cross-cultural like missions class, whatever it was, did you find that it was something that you could apply then to like ministry where you were serving?
Yeah, definitely, especially because our bachelors are in biblical counseling. We've been able to use with that biblical knowledge, like we feel more equipped to help others either through counseling or in other ways, in other aspects of ministry. it definitely has helped.
Yeah. One of the first class I actually took at CCU was on faith, and faith is like, well, it's important for to the Christian life in general, but it's also important for ministry because a lot of faith is required for to be in the ministry. And so I found that the what I learned in that class, I was able to take and apply it to my ministry, and it would help me so much.
That's awesome. Are you girls still helping out in children's ministry?
Yes, like I the nursery like teacher at our
Oh,
church. So yeah, I help out in the nursery uh, a lot.
that's awesome. Do you ever translate for your dad?
Yes, I have translated.
That is so neat. So amazing just to see what the Lord has done. So last year, your dad planted a new church. Are you guys involved in that ministry too?
Yes. So this the the sorry, the most the church plant is we planted the church in September of last year, and it's called Calvary Chapel Braga. And every Sunday, after our morning service in the our local church here, we go home quickly and then we drive about 45 minutes to our second church and we serve there. My dad teaches. Isabella's done a lot of translation there. And I'm involved in the tech ministry for both churches.
Love it.
Uh, and sometimes I would help out with the little ones, but mainly tech.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so neat. So the first church that your dad planted is so Calvary Chapel Grande Porto.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Did I
We
say that right?
translate. Yeah, oh yeah. Gran Porto.
How does it translate?
It's Greater Porto, so it's like includes like not just necessarily the Porto city, but kind of the area surrounding Porto
The
as well, the
district.
district.
Okay. So because Porto has a river that runs through it, so there's like the two sides, kind of like
Yeah.
Buda and Pesh.
Mhm.
So let's see. Um, has there been a highlight, from your CCU experience? Like, was there like a class that you loved, or just like something that the Lord just really spoke to you specifically? Anything that you want to share about that?
Yeah, so the Revelation class holds a special place in my heart because for years I liked the book of Revelation, but I was always a little scared and confused. It's a very daunting book, especially because there's so much different prophecy and so many different ways to interpret it. And the Revelation class really helped me to have a better understanding, a more clear, less confused understanding that makes sense.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I would say that class.
That's awesome. What about you, Isabella?
It would be, I have to say, the classes on faith and apologetics have really impacted me. Faith will just help me to better understand just how important having faith as a Christian is, and apologetics help me to be able to better like understand how to properly defend the Bible, to learn or how to learn more about it. And because live in a country that is like predominantly Catholic, but a lot of people, especially our age, don't know uh,
Mm,
all about the Bible really. And so we're able to like explain what the Bible is to them and defend it. And so apologetics has really helped with that.
that's awesome. Did you by any chance read George Mueller's book? Loved it.
Yes.
What an
Yes.
example of a man of faith. Wow. And just how God provided, and just
Yeah.
faith, and like the Lord provided, food on the table, and such an inspiration to me, and I'm sure to anybody who reads his testimony. Um, so would you recommend CCU to somebody who's maybe thought about like, wow, I wish I could complete my degree. I've like started, but I never finished. Or maybe somebody who's like, well, I never knew that I could, jump into an online school. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. And I believe I have recommended it to a few people that I know. it's very flexible and it's all online, which makes it even more flexible. And it's accredited, which helps as well. And it's from a biblically sound church, Calvary Chapel, and I would highly recommend it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add there, Isabella?
Yeah, CCU has definitely helped me to grow as a Christian and in my relationship with Christ. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's looking to just grow in their walk with the Lord. It is a great university for that.
Well, thank you. You girls are such an example of just two young people who are committed to serving the Lord and walking with Him, and wanting to know Him and make Him known. And I just love your missionary testimony and service, and just that the Lord has just helped you grow, more to know Him, and where you're serving Him. And it's so I think when you look at different missionaries and just the unique call that God has upon various missionaries' lives, and He has a unique call for both of you. And I love how God's given you both different gifts, and but yet the same heart, that wants to just see people come to know Jesus. And so just thinking about the Great Commission to go into the uttermost parts of the world. There you are in Portugal. And it's kind of neat because at the beginning of the year, I was able to interview a CCU alum who is native to Mexico, and he's the principal of a school in Mexico. And then I recently was able to interview, I think he's the principal of a school as well. He's in Colombia. And so it's just so neat to see. And he serves at Calvary Chapel, Cartagena, Colombia. And so it's neat to see how God is using CCU like around the globe, and just equipping people for the work of ministry. And that's our heart. So congratulations on both being Alum of the Month for August.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just a joy. I just can't even say it enough. Just seeing you girls growing up and just loving the Lord. So thank you
for having us.
Oh, thank you. This has been like way too much fun. Thank you for watching us on Calvary Chapel Alumni Interviews. And if you are interested in wanting to take a class at CCU, please check out our website. It's calvarychapeluniversity.edu. And you could look at our various degrees. We have degrees in Christian leadership, biblical counseling, Christian education, women's ministry, youth ministry. You can keep going and work on your master's like Victoria. I'm following in her footsteps. And you never know, maybe you might want to get your MDiv someday, or master's in divinity. So it's a lot of fun. So thank you for joining us, and we'll get to see you next month. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.